Before anything becomes visible, it's first wired into your brain, then it's spoken, then it's seen. That's how this works. You're not waiting for breakthrough to just show up. You're already building it every single day, thought by thought, word by word, whether you realize it or not. Let me introduce you to what I call the manifestation timeline: thought, neural wiring, agreement, speech, evidence. Hi, if you're new to me, my name is Raquel, and I'm your GPS for success. Let's get started. Breakthrough. Your manifestation timeline, it doesn't start with results. It starts with repetition. It starts with what you're allowing to loop in your mind. And it starts long before anything shows up in your bank account, in your relationships, or on stage. What does Romans 12:2 tell us? Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now let's pause on that. God didn't say that you're going to be transformed by hustle or striving or hoping. He says that transformation happens when you renew your mind. Now, this is going to work for your benefit or not because you're automatically doing it. It's how you're wired to succeed. That means that the change that you're waiting for, that you're asking for, it's not starting from the outside. Thought first, then transformation. So what does that look like in your brain? There's a region in your brain called the DMN, the default mode network. It's the place responsible for your sense of self. Think of it this way. It's like the mental wallpaper of your life. And here's the thing, is that every time you're repeating that thought about yourself, especially when you're emotional about it, it actually reinforces that thing. What is your brain doing? It's not just accepting it. It actually starts to build your life and build things around what you are calling yourself. The universe is not doing this to you. I know a lot of my friends, they like to say, oh, the universe is doing this. No, your brain is. This is the way you are wired to succeed. Your brain is literally creating structures around your own identity. It'll draw you into experiences to make that identity right. Your neurons in your brain starts to fire away patterns that match what you're saying. And then your reticular activating system, which starts to filter what you're actually going to look at or ignore, starts to bring you evidence to confirm it. That's why it's not enough just to stop negative thinking. You have to replace it. You have to rewire it. Most importantly, you're coming into agreement with the highest truth. And where is the truth? The truth is in Jesus. Now, let me introduce you to a beautiful concept in the Hebrew language. It is the word debar, and it means both word and thing. There's no separation. The spoken word is not just a sound, it is substance. It carries weight. It starts to shape matter. In God's design, what is spoken is what becomes seen. This is not just poetic. It is neurological and prophetic. So when you think a thought and that thought is charged with emotion, it becomes what neuroscientists call mental matter. It's not yet visible, but it is already real. It's taking up mental real estate. It gets encoded into your brain's electrical and chemical activity. And the more you rehearse it, the more you're saying like that name to yourself over and over again, you are actually reinforcing it. So if you keep on calling yourself a procrastinator, your brain is like, okay, let me help you procrastinate. And then you would take out activating systems like, we're going to ignore this, we're going to ignore that, we're going to accept this, we're going to accept that, to help you become the procrastinator that you are saying that you are. You're actually creating the experience for yourself. Those thoughts you're having about yourself, they're not passive. They are creative. They're actually forming your internal structure. And then over time, your external results. Your results are rooted in your thoughts. It's fueled by emotion, but it's rooted in your thoughts. Now, here is where it's going to get even more powerful and why community matters so much. Your brain is equipped with something called mirror neurons. Now, these little neurological things, they start to fire when they're seeing someone do something or becoming someone. Your mirror neurons are saying, well, if it's possible for them, it's possible for me too, which is also why testimonials are so important, right? When you hear them, that's actually what's happening in your brain. Your brain is saying, wait a minute. I am resonating with that. If it can happen to that person who has a similar background as I do, and look at where they are right now, that means it can happen to me too. The room rewires you. You literally are merging with your environment. So your environment is either affirming what heaven is saying about you or not. It's either strengthening you or limiting you. Let me ask you, what have you been thinking? What have you been rehearsing? What are the names, spoken or silent, that you have been answering to? Because even if nobody else can hear it, your brain is hearing it. Even if it's not coming out of your mouth and you're just having a conversation over here in your frontal cortex, which is where your decider is. Your nervous system is hearing you, and your future is actually being shaped by that internal narrative. You don't manifest what you want. You're manifesting what you're constantly rehearsing, especially unconsciously. So if you want something different, you first have to build it in your thought life. Right now, before the evidence, before the breakthrough, before the applause. And this is the invisible blueprint. It's not glamorous, but it is holy. It all begins in your brain. So now that we looked at how your thoughts actually become the invisible blueprint, right, for your reality, it's actually building those structures until there's enough. And then you see the evidence in the physical. Let's talk about how your brain is actually changing in response to those thoughts. And this is the power of neuroplasticity. This is when it comes in. So neuroplasticity means your brain is not fixed. It's malleable, right? Like plastic, you can mold it. It's going to change based on repeated input. Your brain loves repetition. So every time you're thinking a thought, you're not just repeating, you're not just rehearsing, you're literally reshaping your brain. And your brain is running it for you like 95% of the time. It's your helper. So let's make that real for you. So if you're always saying, I'm always overlooked, your brain starts to encode that as truth, even though it's not. But because you're repeating it, it thinks that, oh, this must be true. It's taking its cues from you. It's not going to question it and be like, no, it's not true. It's just going to do its job, work for you, and reinforce that lie. Then over time, it becomes a neurological stronghold. So a lot of times we like to talk about strongholds and the enemy, but the strongholds, most of them are not out there. They're here. Bundle of neurons that are connecting together. They're shaping how you see the world, how you're going to interpret other people's action, and how you respond in relationship, business, your career, even prayer. So even if someone notices you, compliments you, but you're filtering that through, I'm always overlooked, you won't feel seen because your brain has decided for you that you are always overlooked. But it's decided that for you because that's what you've been rehearsing. That's what you've been repeating to yourself. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy. But let's flip it. What if you start saying something like, I am seen, I'm a chosen, right? Chosen means if you're chosen, you have to be seen. I'm a chosen strategist. So whatever you want to be chosen as. But for this example, we're going to say strategist. And don't just say it flatly. You say it with some emotional conviction. And then when you say something like, I am a chosen strategist, you get to start to feel it in your body. It's a little bit of an attitude, but it's a good one because you're owning who you really are. And as you're doing that, you are creating a new neural pathway. And that's going to prime your brain to see solutions, to make bold decisions, and then move forward in aligned action. Your brain starts to take over and starts to enforce the new identity because you keep on repeating it with emotion. Your emotion is anchoring it. Right? Think about emotion, energy in motion. It is putting gas to it, making it go. So then over time, that thought becomes a default. So if you have been procrastinating, I'm picking on you again, and you've been saying that for a long period of time, Now you've created an identity called, part of your identity is procrastinator. And so what ends up latching on to the identity of procrastinator? I'm just lazy. No, you're not. Your brain is, you are not lazy. Your brain is. There is a huge difference. Your brain is always trying to go into homeostasis. It's always looking for patterns. It's doing a lot of things. And so it's always looking for ways to ramp down, to conserve energy. Because it's doing so much, it's like, I would take the lazy way out. Your brain is lazy. You are not. And this is where the spiritual and the prophetic come together and they start to collide. It's what I call the neural prophetic crossover. Now, God has been doing this long before science had a name for it. Remember, we talked about recently when God changed Abram's name to Abraham. He wasn't being just prophetic or poetic. He was giving Abram a new structure to build around. Think about that. No longer will you be called Abram, but Abraham, for I have made you a father of many nations. Not you will be. God said, I have made you. The name wasn't a prediction. It was a prescription. Same with Simon. Jesus didn't say, I think I'll call you Simon and we'll see if it sticks. Maybe you'll be solid enough to be named Peter. No, he looked at the impulsive fisherman and was just like, yeah, you're Simon, but you're going to be called Peter, the rock. It wasn't flattery. It was neural instruction and prophetic identity. The prophetic word is not wishful thinking. It's a divine alignment mechanism. It's a holy recalibration that rewires your identity and it gives your brain new material to start building around. Here's the key. Emotional repetition leads to agreement, and agreement leads to activation. It's not just a thought, it's the emotion attached to it. That's why trauma sticks. It's highly emotional, but that also means that healing, joy, prophetic identity, it can stick too if we attach emotion to it and repeat it consistently. Consistently is the main key word here. Because whatever you're doing consistently, whatever you're thinking consistently, that is actually what's happening in your life. And the moment you say yes to what God is calling you, even if you don't fully feel it yet, you've entered into the realm of activation. And once you agree with that new name, that new narrative, something powerful takes the shift. There's a powerful switch, and that switch is your reticular activating system. Again, this is part of your heavenly team, part of your beautiful brain, part of your helper system that God has given you. And it's filtering for you what you accept and what you ignore. And that's like the main thing I want you to remember about the RAS is that it is filtering out what to ignore. So there can be the answer to your prayer right in front of you. But if you have an internal narrative that opposes that particular way that God is bringing to you, you will ignore it. So when you start saying, I'm chosen, your RAS goes to work and it wants to confirm for you. It is your helper. So see, nothing has gone wrong. Your brain is just trying to help you. It's doing what it's beautifully made to do. If you're giving it a new prompt, I am chosen, it's going to then spit out the evidence for you. If you start saying, I'm an amazing strategist, it's going to draw you to places where you can be the carrier of the solution. And if you say, I am unworthy, it's going to pull you into that kind of evidence too. It's just doing what it's designed to do. Here's another key. What you repeatedly declare, your brain will try to validate it, good or bad. Your brain is always trying to make you right. Think of that RAS as part of your self-fulfilling prophecy. It's not being cruel. It's being efficient. It's working with what you give it. And that's the good news because you can just give it something new to do. It is your internal servant. Give it good directions because it's going to do exactly what you're asking it to do. So then what are you giving it? This is not about condemnation. It's about being a scientist and just looking at the data. Are you feeding your brain old labels from pain? Or are you feeding it the prophetic truth from heaven? Darling, you are not powerless in the process. You truly are a co-creator. Your words are wiring your world. And every time you declare what God says about you, you are interrupting that old loop and you're creating the new loop that it's agreeing with heaven. Every time you declare what heaven has said about you, you are giving your brain that new assignment. And that, my friends, is how the invisible becomes tangible. It's how identity becomes embodiment. It's how the word becomes flesh through you. And now that you understand more how your thoughts create the neural codes, it's time to activate a new script, not just mentally, but emotionally, spiritually, strategic. The next version of you isn't just waiting for you somewhere in the clouds. It's waiting for your agreement. Stay with me, because after this very short break, we're going to activate the manifestation timeline together in real time. See you on the other side.
Thank you for watching Prospera TV Network. We hope you're enjoying the show. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
You felt it, that nudge in your spirit, like something is off, but you can't explain why. Life isn't meant to be stuck on the same page. What if this is your red pill moment, the page where the story shifts? Hi, I'm Raquel, your GPS for success. In just one shift session, we'll break through the invisible script that's been holding you back. Fast, faith-filled, and neuroscience-backed. Book your shift session today at myshiftnow.net. You're not broken. You're just one choice away from breakthrough. Welcome back to One Breakthrough Now. I'm Raquel, your GPS for success and your shift architect. And if you've already made it this far, you already know the power of thoughts, identity, and words. But awareness alone is not going to activate change. It is a starting point, though. Transformation is going to begin with what I call the R3 method. Reverse, rewire, replace. This is how you start to break the old neural loop and start to actually live out your true identity, your new name, the one heaven has already spoken over you. So let's break it down. Reverse the negative agreement. Every identity loop starts with agreement. At some point, you said yes to a lie. Maybe silently, maybe emotionally, maybe out of exhaustion. You agreed with a name or belief that never belonged to you. And maybe the agreement sounded like, I'm always overlooked. I never finish anything. People like me don't get to lead. People like us, we don't get ahead. I'm too much. I'm not enough. I'm a procrastinator. I'm so lazy. These are not just thoughts. These are contracts. They're inner vows, mental structures that your brain has started to build. But the good news is that you can reverse those agreements, break those contracts, break those vows. Speak this with me. The old agreement I now break is fill in the blank. Don't rush. Get honest. What's been looping? You can't shift what you won't name. Right? What's not confronted is not changed. But once you name it, it loses its power. That's the reverse. Step number 2. Now comes the rewiring. It's not enough to stop the negative loop, right? Because if you think it's stopping, now you're creating a void. And as we know, nature hates a vacuum. You're creating the vacuum. But now the vacuum wants to be filled. So now you insert the new truth, one that is spoken and felt. Why? Why both? Because your brain changes not just through repetition, although it can do that, but it's going to take longer. But to fast track it, you add the emotional intensity. This is the shortcut. That's how strongholds were formed in the first place, and that's how they're broken. Let's build this together. Say this out loud. Remember to say it with conviction. The truth I choose to rehearse instead is fill in the blank. Maybe it's, I am a chosen strategist. I am seen, sent, and significant. My voice carries breakthrough. I am a solution walking into rooms. I mean, you really are. You have the mind of Christ. You have an unction from the Holy One. The genius is with you and he knows all things. This isn't affirmation fluff. This is divine alignment. John 1:14 tells us, the word became flesh and dwelt among us. That's not just theology, it's a template. The word doesn't just float in the air. The word is always trying to become flesh. Always. It wants to take form. Words matter because they do eventually become matter. And they become matter by how you're nurturing them. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Don't just declare truth once and then hope that it sticks. Speak it, feel it, nurture it. The rewiring happens through consistent activation. Step number 3, replace the loop with a new narrative language. So we reverse the agreement. We're starting to rewire the narrative, and now we need to replace the old internal loop. Your internal dialogue is your narrator. And most of us are living a script that was written by fear, written by shame, written by guilt, somebody else's limitation. That's not your narrator anymore. Replace it with prophetic language. Language like, I'm not trying to be confident. I am a bold communicator. I'm not hoping to be strategic. I'm a kingdom strategist. I'm not working towards significance. I am sent, and I'm saturated with favor. This is more than semantics. It's a neural redirect. Your default mode network, the DMN, the part of your brain that actually filters your identity, it needs new materials to work with. And this new language gives it that. Now let's talk about evidence. I know you might be thinking, what if I say it and nothing happened? Enter in one of my favorite practices, the micro evidence stacking. And here's how it works. Every day, gather 3 small confirmations that align with your new identity. These don't have to be big miracles. Look for the micro signs. For example, if you declare, my voice is magnetic, maybe someone is going to DM you after your podcast episode and say, that really hit home. That right there is evidence. Write it down. If you start to affirm, I'm a powerful guide, and then someone says, I needed to hear that today, that's another brick in your belief wall. This is how new identities root, through reinforced experience. What's actually happening to your reticular activating system, because you gave it a direction, you told it what to look for, it's going to show you that evidence. This is what people are not realizing. You're not just speaking into your future, you're speaking into your filter. The old lens is still active. You're going to keep on getting those results. And most manifestations, they don't appear instantly because your old lens is still active. So now you have 2 things competing. The moment that you're persisting, you're rehearsing, you keep repeating it, your reticular activating system, right? Your RAS, your filter begins to shift. You're doing it already by default. This is how you do it by design. Your vision starts to catch up with your confession. This is not just mindset work. It is manifestation in motion. And it works because it's built on how God designed you to succeed, how he wired you to succeed. The word became flesh. Now it's your turn. You reverse the old agreement. You're starting to speak the new truth. You're replacing the old language with the language from heaven. Now it's time to live it out. So welcome to what I call the 90-day prophetic loop. Speak it, see it, strengthen it. This loop is not magic. It's muscle memory for your destiny. And here is why it works. And it works because it's not based on wishful thinking. It works because it's based on God's proven pattern. So let's go back to Abraham and Sarah. We talked about them in episode 9. And we talked about the moment their names changed. Abram became Abraham, Sarai became Sarah. And when he named them, something shifted spiritually, yes, but also biologically. When we start to look at the conversation, what is scripture saying in that story? The name changed, and within a year, she had a baby. So let's reverse engineer 12 months. It's about 9 months or so for the baby to go from conception to birth, right? So now we have the 3 months between when their names were changed and when she got pregnant. It's 90 days. So did it take over 20 years for them to get pregnant? It took like 90 days. It was when their identity shifted that the door opened. But the identity shifted, it got nurtured through the name change, and then she got pregnant. You are not hustling to prove something. You are harmonizing with heaven. There is a divine rhythm available for you, but it starts with your words, your voice, your spoken agreement. So here's how to put this into practice. I'm calling it the 3 times daily identity loop. This is what you're going to do in the morning. Name your identity. Before you check your phone, before you scroll, before the world names you, you name yourself. Declare your God-given identity out loud. What is it? I'm a chosen strategist. I'm God's voice for this generation. I'm a solution walking into rooms. Not because you feel it, but because heaven already sees it. And then midday, you are going to confirm your fruit. At some point in the day, pause and reflect. What's one small sign that my identity is showing up? Maybe it's a conversation, a compliment, a breakthrough moment. If you declared my voice is magnetic and someone says, wow, that really moved me, that's fruit. It's confirmation. Keep stacking it. And at night, record the evidence. Before you sleep, write down at least one way your new identity showed up today, because your memory cements wiring. Journaling your fruit tells your brain this matters. You're not just speaking it, you're seeing it. And this is something that you can etch like a tattoo in your heart. Faith doesn't wait to feel worthy. Faith responds to the rename. Abraham didn't wait until he felt like a father to receive his new name. Peter didn't wait until he was stable to be called a rock. The name came first and then the fruit. So here's your journaling activation for today. Where is God calling me to speak as if it already is? Let the Holy Spirit show you. He is your teacher. He is your guide. He is with you 24/7. Maybe you're meant to speak as a coach, as a CEO, as an artist, maybe an author. Now, not later. Not later, not once you prove it, but choosing to believe that this is the way heaven is seeing you right now. Now faith is. And now is all you got. Your brain is always in the now. And listen, if you have been saying, I'm just being realistic, and that's what you're calling yourself, perhaps that's actually a code name for limitation. Realism can be a cover for fear. It could be a disguise for disappointment. So you being realistic, is that rooted in facts, in the truth, or in fear, or in wound? This is the truth. Your words are not just sound, they're substance. You are voice activating your future. This is why this whole series, season number 1, is around words matter because they become matter. And if you're ready to go deeper, apply this in your actual daily rhythm. And I have something special for you that I'm so excited about. And you can grab some of this for free today. It's my brand new workbook, Rewire Reality. It's officially available for pre-order now for only $14.99. And when you pre-order, you'll also receive a complimentary group coaching session with me and others on August 8th, 2025. It's valued at $197. And right now, you can get it, the first chapter that has a digital version of it, plus the accompanying audio. Now, the audios that are going with the workbook, they're based on the episode and the workbook, but it's not just me like downloading this and then giving you that as the company. It's more of like a 7 to 10 minute Reader's Digest version of it, if you can think of it that way, right? It's like a quick coaching segment to remind you of the things and put extra things in that audio as well. And you get the first one absolutely free. But if you decide to pre-order, then you're going to be with me and others on August 8th live. And yes, you will get the replay if you can't make it live. So for less than the cost of lunch, you'll get the full workbook and a live session. We'll walk through these activation tools together. We're going beyond theory into real-time breakthrough, because you don't need more information. You need implementation, which is why the second part of this show every single week is implementation of what you just learned. This workbook is the daily companion to everything we've been talking about here in episode 10 and all the other episodes as well, and the next 2 before we wrap it up. So if something stirred in you today, if your spirit whispered, you know what, this is it, I need this, then don't delay, because the first chapter is for you and it's absolutely free. All you have to do is go to the site yourgpsforsuccess.net right now. Do it now and grab your copy of Rewire Reality. Let this be the moment you don't just hear the truth, but you embody it. You are not waiting for your future. Your future is waiting on your agreement. So speak it, see it, and strengthen it, because the new loop has already begun. Until next week, may God's richest and best be yours. Bye for now.
This is your Prospera era, where dreams align with grace, abundance flows like rivers. You've stepped into your place. Rise, reign, and remember, you were born to shine. Welcome to your moment, Prospera, it's time.
We hope you enjoyed today's show on Prospera TV Network. Make it a point to visit us on YouTube and catch all your favorite shows anytime you want. Interested in hosting a show of your own? Or advertising your business on our network? Contact Elena Rodriguez,